So a little review with exponents and their properties. So like on that first example, 9 to the 6 times 9 to the 9th, we add the exponents. So that gets us 9 to the 9th, and you would type that in on Summit as 9 caret 9. On number 2, when you've got negative exponents on one side or the other of the division bar, you move it to the other side. So the 5 and the 6 stay where they're at. The c on top stays, and we move the c to the 4th up top, and it gets a positive exponent. And then we can combine the c's on top to get a c to the 5th. So it's 5c to the 5th divided by 6. Typing it in Summit, it's going to be parenthesis 5c caret 5, close the parenthesis, divide by 6. Number 3, we've got some terms, factors without exponents. If there's no exponent listed, it's automatically a 1, so that's 3 to the 1st and h to the 1st, whereas the b is to the 4th. When you have the power on the outside, you distribute that, so you multiply all the powers on the inside by 4, and that gives us 3 to the 4th, b to the 16th, and h to the 4th. That would get typed into Summit as 3 caret 4, b caret 16, h caret 4. And then number 4, same thing, except we can put the 4 and the 3 together and then add the powers of d. And so that's going to get us 12d to the 6th. That's raised to the 2nd power, so that means we're going to have 12 squared and d to the 6th times 2. So that's 12 squared is 144, and that's d to the 12th. And that would be typed into Summit as 144 d caret 12. Continuing, if you've got different factors, like we've got a 2 and a b to the negative 6 on top, 8 and b to the negative 2 on the bottom, separate them. So leave the 2 over 8 as one fraction that we're multiplying, and the b to the negative 6 and b to the negative 2, they just need to switch sides of the division bar. And then 2 over 8 reduces to 1/4, and then out of the b's, there's more b's on the bottom. There's 4 more, and so we would have 1 over b to the 4th. And that whole answer would be 1 over 4b to the 4th. Typing it into Summit, it would look like 1 divided by parenthesis 4b caret 4, close the parenthesis. Number 6, the 7 and 4 are going to be by themselves. We've got the y over y to the 4th and the s to the 6th over s to the 3rd. So we got 7/4. For the y's, there's more y's on bottom. There are 3 more y's on the bottom. And for the s's, there are 3 more s's on top. So we end up with 7/4 times 1 over y to the 3rd times s to the 3rd over 1. Putting that all together, we have 7s to the 3rd divided by 4y to the 3rd. Putting that into Summit, typing it in, you would have parenthesis 7 caret 3, close the parenthesis, divide by parenthesis 4y to the y caret 3, close the parenthesis. 7, little simple one. We've got the powers are 1 and 2. We add those, we get s to the 3rd. That would just be s caret 3. 8, similar, put the 6, the 7, and the 3 together and add the powers of b. And so 6 times 7 is 42. 42 times 3 is 126. And then that gets us b to the 10th. And writing that out would be 126 b caret 10. Here we've got a graph, shows total cost y for x hours of canoe rental. What is the slope of the line? Well, slope is rise over run. Our rise is up from 24 to 48, that's up 24. The run goes from 2 to 4, that's 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12, so our slope is 12. The following graph represents Mario's mile time in minutes, y, based on the number of hours he spends training x. What conclusion can you make? Well, we take a look, put in a couple points. Got a point there, which is the y-intercept at 0, 7. Another point it's going through is there, which is at 2, 6. Well, let's just talk about slope. To get from 7 to 6, we would drop 1. To get from 0 to 2, we'd go right 2, so it's a negative 1/2. That means the y change, the Mile time in minutes goes down a minute for every 2x, and x is every 2 hours of training. And so that first one works. Some more like that. A restaurant charges $3 for a soda and it includes free unlimited refills. If this situation were represented as a function, what would be the y-intercept? Well, that's the starting value. Cost for ordering the soda is what? It's $3. So the y-intercept is 3. A cell phone provider will allow you to buy a phone over time. They require a $50 initial payment and then charge $25 per month. If the total amount paid was represented by a function for the total amount paid over time, what would be the y-intercept? Well, when you take a look at that, what's the cost before you've gone any months? $50. So the y-intercept is 50. The cost of parking a car in an hourly lot can be represented by the following equation, y equals 3x plus 2. What does the 2 tell you about the cost of parking? Notice a pattern on this page yet? It costs how much before hours are calculated? It costs $2 to park in the lot. So the y-intercept would be 2. 2 is the cost before you add any price for the hours. Another thing we're kind of looking at is solving, and with solving you use inverse operations. So addition and subtraction are inverse operations, multiplication and division are inverse operations. Solve that first one on the top left, 9x minus 7 equals 29. Well, we would add 7 to both sides. That gets us 9x equals 36. Divide both sides by 9, and we get x is 4. The next one, solve the equation 4 plus 6k equals 4. Subtract 4 from both sides. We get 6k equals 0. Divide both sides by 6. 0 split into 6 equal groups. You would still have 0 in each group. Next one, subtract 6 from both sides. That gets us negative 3x equals 33. Divide both sides by negative 3. We get x is negative 11. Next one, what is the value of x if 5x plus 65 equals 25? Well, subtract off 65 from both sides. That gets us 5x equals negative 40. Divide by 5, and x is going to be negative 8. That's solving equations. Solving inequalities, you solve just like it was an equation with the inverse operations. You just have to remember one small piece. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, then you have to reverse the inequality symbol. So just like what we were doing on the other page, subtract a from both sides. We get 4x greater than or equal to 4. Divide both sides by 4. Since we're dividing by a positive, the inequality symbol stays going the same direction, so x has to be greater than or equal to 1. Next one, subtract 12 from both sides. 6x less than or equal to 24. Divide by 6. X has to be less than or equal to 4. Next one, subtract 9 from both sides. 3x is greater than or equal to negative 9. Divide by 3. X is going to be greater than or equal to negative 3. Next one, add 9 to both sides. We get 5x greater than or equal to 20. Divide by 5 on both sides. And x is going to be greater than or equal to 4.